cup. You know, get a little cup. She get.
Actually, everybody is going to get a little tasting cup. That's how we're going to do the People's Choice Award.
Okay.
And then the judges will taste, and then whatever greens are left after that, we'll have with the meal. So
Okay.
Hopefully, so yeah, we can get some more. Either would you cook with frozen ones or?
Yeah, I can cook with frozen. I can mix them in with the fresh ones.
Okay.
So it's up to you, whichever one.
Let's do that because I don't know when these other ones are going to get delivered, and I'll try to get them to you tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll try to get over to Good Acre tomorrow.
Yeah, because you have destinations for the rest of the ones in your car.
I have, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, there's extra greens in there too. But I was just thinking that we should use, or maybe it's not good to use the.
I'd use up the fresh ones first, because the other ones are already frozen.
But we were talking about handing them out at the cook-off,
Yeah,
so
that
people
works
wanted
too.
to try
Nice.
them, you know.
Sweet. Oh, that's a great idea.
And we're going to use some for
Table.
centerpieces.
Oh, nice.
And Stephanie's setting up a educational piece about different kinds of greens to use. And she's got a little game that people can play, matching game. So it'll be educational, and then nutrition is going to be there with information on the nutrition of greens. And
Okay.
so yeah.
Cool.
So I suppose we could give the frozen ones away too. So
Well,
maybe-
just call me tomorrow. We can mix them. That can be
Okay.
mixed.
okay. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
So
Do you want to scoot in just a little bit so that you're closer together so I can come a little closer so you... Yeah.
That works?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great. Then the microphone is not so far away. Lovely.
are we
Yeah,
on?
you don't have to like lean in way in. That's you're
Okay.
well within it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Carolyn Brown, and Carolyn's going to be a contestant in the Greens Cookoff on
Yes.
Saturday. And we want to just find out a little bit about your greens story and what can you tell us about when you first learned how to cook greens or when you first ate them?
Okay. They go way back. So as a kid, I grew up in the South where we grew greens. I remember as a kid, we used to pick pick the weeds and act like we was cooking greens. So watching my grandmother cook greens, so we would go to the garden, we would harvest the greens, we would pick the greens, and then we would watch her cook them. So it started out when I was about 7. And so I've been eating greens, harvesting greens, doing the garden thing since 7. Got older. As a teenager, my first experiment with cooking greens was 15. And then we would experiment with different food. And so in the South, you would use one piece of meat we call salt pork meat. It would be a cured piece of meat, salt, totally different, good taste. The second piece of meat I experimented with greens was ham hocks, which is also a smoked piece of meat. And the last but not least is smoked turkey, which is really good too. So I've been eating greens my whole life. It's really good. It's very nutritious. And then we are eating with our hand versus a fork. Gotta have the cornbread to go with it. Some cornbread made from scratch, or else they call it hot water cornbread that you will cook in the skillet. But it's delicious though, cause it's like a little pancake. Just make this cornbread like a little pancake. So yeah, it's really good.
So you just take cornmeal and add water? And
You would make your cornbread up like you regular would, a box of Jiffy Mix or whatever your choice is, and just pour it in the skillet and cook it like you was cooking pancakes. And they call it hot water cornbread. Because it turned out like it's not a bigger portion. You just make a stack of it like pancakes.
Wow, sounds good.
It
So
is
then
good.
you pick up your greens with the cake?
And
or-
just crumble it up in your cake, and crumble the
Greens?
cornbread up in your greens.
Okay.
Yeah, you eat it the same. You just cook it differently. It's just a thinner piece of bread.
Yeah.
When you don't want to cook a whole pan of cornbread, you just cook it like that. That way you don't have to cook a whole pan full.
So I am really curious about if you're teaching your children how to make greens and
Yes.
your grandchildren, is it Takari?
Yes. Yes. He love
Are
to
you
cook.
cooking? Does he like to cook?
Yeah, he like to cook. So he in the kitchen. So he was like, "What you do with this?" So
Oh.
talk him through like what you do and what not to do. Both my girls know how to cook. All my kids know how to cook, but my girls cook greens more. And one son, and my other son, he love chili versus doing all anything other than some quick and easy. Somebody else have to do that because he's not gonna do it. But yeah, both my daughters know how to cook greens.
That's great.
And they cook with turkey more than they do with pork.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you were 7, have you added any special twists to your greens or?
No,
Or
it tastes
do-
good mix. So mixing kale, mustards, and collards is a really good combination.
Okay.
And putting a little spinach in there. Not a lot of spinach because put too much spinach, it kind of bland, so it changes the flavor. But just a little bit of spinach in there, and it's good. Yes. So you have 4 different type of greens, but when you put them all in the pot and season them right, it's good.
You're making my mouth water.
So, and another thing too that make, like, you can take your greens and pre-cook them and put them in the freezer, and so when you get ready to cook them for fully, oh my God, because then you gonna let all the flavor, the marinated in there. Oh, it tastes so good. That's another secret to it. Pre-cook them and just put them in the freezer so you get ready to eat them.
So for Saturday in the Greens Cookoff, what kind of meat are you going to use?
Turkey, some smoked turkey.
Okay,
Yep, I'll be using smoked turkey.
sounds good.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to Saturday.
So when you cook greens a lot, where do you usually get your collards and turnips and mustards? And...
Cause I got a garden in front of my house, so
Mhm.
I took my greens and over the course of the growing season, and I cut them up and put them in the freezer. So the non-growing season, I used them then. So like it might have been like some kale I might get out of some Cub Foods or Whole Foods
Mhm.
to add to them. But I grew some kale too, so
Okay.
it depends on how much I'm cooking, and if I'm only cooking for me, I have enough already. But if I'm cooking for the kids, I have to go to the store and add to it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So in general, can you tell us if you think there's anything in the neighborhood that could be, well, first of all, what good things are there in the neighborhood around food and around gardening and food access?
The community gardens. When they did they started with the garden in the box.
Mhm.
That was the first one. Then they expanded with all the community gardens, and that really helped out. So that was a plus to see like the engagement, like how many people get an interest, how many people didn't know that they could grow certain foods, and they learned that you can grow certain foods in this area. So yeah, especially when people learn about the different soils.
Yeah. How many backyard box gardeners are there now through seaweed?
I think it's about 15. I think it's about 15.
Nice.
Yep. So most of them have those garden in the boxes, and some of them have the collapsible boxes.
Mhm. Is there anything you can think of that gardeners might want to increase production, or that would be helpful in having better access for more people?
Yeah, maybe try to expand on growing more beans and peas. That way it's more accessible, and then that will sustain longer during non-growing season
Mhm.
to grow more of those type of items.
I know Jocelyn wanted to talk about the
Outside,
garden out there. Do you have any thoughts you want to share with us about that?
that was really accessible. That garden was very accessible to the individuals that work, the employees that work here. Because like they may, instead of getting out of work, having to run to the store to get certain items, you can just go right outside and it's accessible to you. So that garden site really was a good garden site for accessibility for the employees in the building itself.
Okay.
And it got a lot of attraction for community engagement too. A lot of individuals sent emails, stopped by, talked about the garden, want to find out how they can get involved to become a gardener themselves.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Any other food stories you want to share with us, or?
Yeah, well, depending on what you're growing, they got a recipe. It's called cha-cha. that you can
I got
utilize.
that recipe from you one time. I put it in the newsletter.
You can utilize instead of letting all those tomatoes go a waste. Try to find recipes that you can use to can. Yeah, that you can learn how to can so you can have food when non-grow seasons.
So, are you willing to share these recipes, or are you keeping them kind of close
Let's
to
share
your
the
heart?
cha-cha.
Not
I'll
the
share
greens?
the greens. It's pretty simple.
Mm.
It's pretty simple. Because it's about what type of seasoning. Like, a lot of people don't like a lot of salt. So, it's kind of, you have to season it to your taste.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just not bland, but season to your taste. Yeah, but that's all the secrets, though.
Valentine, do you have any questions?
Yeah, is there anything else? I mean, so part of what I've been excited about when we talking about making a cookbook is like a cookbook for like the whys and the hows. Like how do we make the community better through this cooking? So I'm curious, you know, if there's anything else you think, like if we had a cookbook that was for making neighborhood food, what else would you want to see in that cookbook? That wasn't just like the recipes for food, but also like what can we do for food to bring people together and
Pictures tell 1,000 stories. Because pictures kind of, in a cookbook, the pictures can kind of like relate to the history maybe of that food or the culture of a family or things like that. That would really enhance it, make it more attractive.
yeah, we'll probably follow up with you. Find out pictures.
Yeah, just pictures, you know, around the food, because that whole picture and that food gonna tell a history.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna maybe, you know, spark attention to somebody that it might be something they might see. I mean, you have a bunch of words one place, but then since it's a community base, it'll be feeling more of a community because it'll have a picture that can relate back to maybe they was a kid and they may have a picture when they was on a farm or they was at a garden site, but it'll relate to why it's so important or why is it, what make you want to try cooking this food.
Yeah, you put the history in there. With
Yep.
Because I think it helps, right? I'm really excited to see the stories, even just that people have been sharing this week. It helps show how much like we have community well. We just need to be able
To show it.
and to kind of get rid of some of the obstacles.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, showing that really clearly, I think, is helpful.
Yeah, 'cause like some people may have pictures of their grandmother in the kitchen. You know, like cucumbers. They, as a kid, I remember in the South, they took cucumbers and made these butter sweet pickles. They turned them to pickles, and oh my God, they like the best pickles in the world. Like it's things like that. Like they took the fruit and made it out of preserved jams and all those things. Like those recipes to have,
Yeah.
but with pictures to relate back to it.
My question is, how do we get more people like you and the other folks that we've interviewed have this just amazing family history of cooking and passing that on? But then there's all other people out there in the community who are sort of disenfranchised and they're young people, they don't know how to cook, they haven't been cooking with folks. How can we, you know, adopt those people like you, and to share that? I mean, do you think that's a valid thing, or?
It could be a hands-on community meal.
Yeah.
A community meal, like, and then have either soul food / something, but it all, and that way people will want to be engaged, because now they get to actually, you can hear about it. They got the movies on TV, but when you're doing it in person, that's going to make people come out. That's going to spark the interest, and that's going to be like, how do I do it, and get it going.
So actually cooking together.
And the demos you have going for the greens, is anybody showing how to like wash and chop the greens or anything like that? Like that might be a good.
I think that'd be a real good one if we can get some, because we're gonna have hopefully have Melvin shopping.
Cool.
And I'm sure he would chop for us too. But
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great.
yeah, it was sort of just hard to get the interviews going, but we do need somebody to actually show what's going on.
Send pictures.
Yeah.
Let people just take pictures, because somebody might chop their greens. Some people might break their greens up with their hand. Like, it's different ways they do it. And then sometimes some people just put them all in the pot.
Yeah, so maybe when you send the letter out to
Letter.
everybody, ask them if they could take some pictures about how they do it so we can share it. And I think if you frame it just the way you just did, like, how can we share this with people who haven't had the chance to learn?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Okay.
Because then you're going to see various ways, right? So you might get 10 different pictures showing you 10 different ways. And
Yeah. So will you take some pictures of your preparation?
yes, I
Cool.
will.
Awesome. Cool.
That's very cool. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
And I hope you bring your grandson and your family
I
on
will.
Saturday.
Yep, I will.
Good.
I got my granddaughter in there now, so the car at the after school program.
Oh, okay.